It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. And look who I have here with me today. RJ, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, Adam. I'm doing so well. How are you?
Good. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. You know that. And for anybody who doesn't know, while everybody's entering into the room, we stole RJ after we saw that he was so interconnected with the Real Housewives of Potomac. So once they left off and Atlanta kind of took over their slot, I was like, RJ, let's do Atlanta. And I'm curious because now that you started watching the season, how are you feeling about it compared to Potomac?
That's a good question. I feel like I need more episodes before I can really say how I truly feel about it. You know, I'm just so new. It's too new for me to say how I actually feel about it. I can say that I'm enjoying it. At this point, I'm enjoying it. You know, it's a different feeling from Potomac, of course, because, you know, I know the ladies from Potomac, so it's different.
Right, that hits close to home.
Yeah, but I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button so we can get more people in the room. And I say, RJ, let's just jump right in.
Let's dive in.
All right. So we start off this episode with, again, I had this conversation with you last week, and I asked you, do you find Kandi Burruss's daughter to be spoiled in any capacity? And we start off this episode with her being taught by her grandmother and Mama Joyce, which Mama Joyce can fly off the handle sometimes, her little brother and her mom, Kandi, how to clean a bathroom.
Yeah, let me tell you something, Adam. Riley Burruss was giving me Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie's Simple Life first episode.
That's fair.
She was giving me very much Simple Life tease. And honestly, I was here for it. I was shocked because I don't, like I said, I don't watch the show, but Kandi's demeanor, you know, Kandi, I know Kandi from the group, from her singing group.
Right.
Her demeanor, and because she's such a boss, I would have thought that, you know, Riley would have known how to clean and, you know, just a safe assumption. So it was shocking, but on TV, but it made for great TV though. Just like Simple Life made for great TV when it came out. So I found it to be kind of humorous.
It just blows my mind though that people like this, like, you know, good for Riley for not having to spend her Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays doing laundry and cleaning her bathroom and all of this other stuff, because I know that many of us did. You know, it just blows my mind that these kids exist like this. Like, I envy them. I envy the fact that they grow up and everything's kind of handed to them on a silver platter. Like, that's, you know, I mean, I'm sure they have their troubles too, of course. Obviously, we all do. You know, I have a friend who just even said even billionaires get depressed, but it's like, it's just interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but they do exist, you know, and the thing about it is how much of it was for TV, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Paris admitted, you know, that, come on now, like, I knew what Walmart was, and, like, I knew how to clean. Like, you know, she went to, like, some horrendous boarding school, and, you know, we found that out last year. But you know, how much of it was for TV? I know Riley knows how to pick up a sponge and clean off a sink or a stove. Like, come on.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Well, let's move on really quick because I do want to get to the point. We left off kind of last episode with Kenya not being able to attend Porsha's party, and that obviously threw her for a loop. She ends up going to meet up with Cynthia and LaToya Ali to go, I guess, lingerie shopping.
Yeah.
This is where Kenya calls out Cynthia and she's like, were you going to call me? Were you going to text me? Send a pigeon? Do something? Because if you remember when Kenya found out that she was disinvited, she actually found out because she called Cynthia to tell her, oh my gosh, look, I got this cute doll for Pilar. And Cynthia really, she never ended up telling her before. And when she actually have ended up telling her, like I see what Kenya's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like maybe Cynthia was in a hard, like a hard place, you know, like she didn't want to be the bearer of bad news. So it was kind of like a tough position to be in. Like, I
Right.
probably in a tough position, and she didn't know what to do.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like this is just for, like, again, like you said with Riley, it's trying to make really good TV. But what I do know is I feel like unless Kenya got in LaToya's head and told her to share this racy photo, I don't think Kenya was planning on LaToya showing Kenya's butt all over the place. And that threw me for a loop because Kenya's usually pretty private about her stuff, but it seems like she's taking a little bit of a liking to LaToya Ali this season. And she's beautiful, but I wouldn't trust that girl as far as I could throw her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was thrown back by the photo. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was just like, wow, okay. I mean, you know, it was surprising. Like, I was not expecting to see her buttocks. You know what I'm saying?
It was a nice butt.
I was like, okay, well, yeah, she has a nice butt. But I was just like, okay, well, you know, she's embracing her sexuality in all ways. You know, she's putting herself out there with this photo. She's putting herself out there with, you know, I'm jumping ahead here, but even mentioning that she was attracted to 3 people at the table at that, you know, at the
white party.
So it was just like, okay, like maybe she's just like on this different tip now because she's having trouble in her marriage, and she's just like, you know what, forget this. I'm just gonna embrace my body, embrace my sexuality, and it is what it is. Like sometimes in life when you have difficulties, like, you know, in your marriage or whatever, you get on a different tip, you get on a different vibe, and you want to do things that are different, that makes you feel good.
Okay. Well, you know, it's funny because I don't know if you've ever seen Kenya's husband or soon to be ex-husband, maybe Mark Daly, but a lot of the women at first used to make fun of him because he had a nose ring, and they were questioning, you know, is this guy, does he like women? Does he like men? And I was like, you're going to go in that far over a nose ring? But they were. And again, this could be for TV, but it just threw me for a loop. So it would be interesting come to find out if he swayed one way and she swayed another and they ended up having a baby together. I mean, I don't know. You never know anymore.
I mean, that's just speculation, but these days, honey, I don't put it past anyone.
Okay, so guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button for RJ. RJ also started a YouTube channel, RJ.Allan. I tagged him in my community post so you guys can go follow him. It's not like he needs my help because he's gaining subscribers fast anyways. We are waiting for more videos though, RJ. I do want to say that. We're waiting for some more videos, but you're a busy guy, so soon enough.
More videos are coming. You know, guys, my YouTube was put out quickly, and I you know, I let the first video ride a little bit, but a new video is coming soon, so just bear with me, be patient.
All right. So since we're talking about the recap, I want to talk about the suspense of the white party event. Nobody actually knows what this is, and Kenya's trying to plan it, but with Candy's help, because Kenya knows that nobody's going to show up for Kenya. Really, a lot of people don't like Kenya because Kenya stirred the pot with most of these women. She's accused Tanya's husband cheating on him. She's called Marlo every single name in the book. She's been ripped across the stage by Porsha. I mean, she's literally hit every single one of them in some sort of way, not physically, but just, you know, that's why they keep her on the show. But everybody's in suspense over this white party, and somehow the rumor got started that Joe Biden was going to be here. I feel like Shamia, if you look back and you see Porsha's friend Shamia ended up texting and she said, hey, listen, tell Biden I said hi, I'm not going to be able to make the party. I feel like she planted that seed in order to get the suspense or the idea off of the fact that it could be a party for Cynthia. But maybe I'm just speculating here.
Yeah, of course. That was to get the attention off the fact that it was going to be a party for Cynthia. But it was great. The fact that they were reeling over the fact that Biden was going to be there, I thought that was so great. And they were just like trying to figure out how they were going to, you know, get near them. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got to be there early. That was all great. That's how you do a surprise party.
Yeah, but then even some of the girls like Marlo 25 minutes late, Porsha 50-something minutes late, and then LaToya, she thinks Biden's coming and she's almost 2 hours late. It's
honey, it's Atlanta. So as long as anything is happening in Atlanta, it could be, I mean, you name it. It could be anyone. The Pope, they're going to be late.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's fair. So I want to move on to one of our obviously late guests, who would be Porsha. Porsha's sitting down and she's talking about, well, I don't want to say her daddy issues, but she's talking about the things that she has to face in her upcoming book. She's writing a book called The Pursuit of Porsha. And she, like she said in her interview, she's like, I made it. I've endured domestic violence, abuse, marriage, divorce, having a baby, infidelity, activism, all of it. But when she's sitting down with her sister Lauren talking about her dad, with her mom sitting there trying to comfort her, that was interesting. It seemed like that was a raw moment that we got from Porsha.
Yeah, it was definitely a raw moment, and I just really felt for her. I mean, she has really been through a lot. She's grown, and when you're writing a book about you open up some doors that are going to be raw, and so I can understand why that would be something that she would be emotional about. But like she said, she's made it. She's become super successful. She's smart, intelligent.
She can pay her own bills.
She can pay her own bills. I mean, she's doing a damn thing. So I just really felt for her. Like that was I actually got emotional myself, listening to the story.
Well, and that's one of the great things about the Housewives, is like, because since they are, it's an ensemble cast, right? So each one kind of delivers something that maybe somebody can relate to who somebody else can't. And with Porsha, I'm sure that hit home for a lot of people. But what I want to say about Porsha Williams is I'm never surprised with her in the fact that she can always bring a comedic element to everything that she does. Like right before she sits down and talks about the pursuit of Porsha, Lauren walks in with the hot dogs and she's like, no, you didn't come in with somebody else's hot dogs, even though that, her baby's daddy, Dennis, is the hot dog king of Atlanta. She's like, hey, listen, we still support him. That money goes back in my pocket. But she always makes me laugh, even when it's serious.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so happy that you brought up her comedic moments, Adam, because that scene was hilarious. And then the scene that really took me out was the scene where she had put her legs up and she was talking about how, he liked me and said that I'm cute. And he don't have any babies. And she just kept going on and on. And then she just fell out. It was so funny. I was like, wow, now I see why she's so popular. Because she is just so funny. You can't help but to like her and to be drawn to her. I mean, that was great. I don't think I've ever seen somebody so funny on a housewife show. And it was just natural. You could just tell it was organic.
Well, it's funny because everyone was saying that, who's going to be the new queen bee of Real Housewives of Atlanta now that Nene Leakes is gone? Is it going to be Kandi Burruss? But to be honest with you, I love Kandi. I just don't find her to be like the leader of the group or that interesting to kind of put at the forefront of the group, knowing like she will always be secure other than her success. Right. But Porsha, I find her to be probably the most interesting.
You know what? Yeah. Yes.
No, really? You don't have to go based off of me. You can totally have your own opinion.
No. I had to go through my mind and think who might be the most interesting, but I think that Porsha is. And to me, she's like the most relatable, because I'm totally that guy who sits around with his friends and family and will joke and make people fall out. And so, I mean, yeah, I think she's the most interesting for sure.
Well, and one of the things that I like about Porsha too, before we move on, is that she incorporates her family almost in that kind of keeping up with the Kardashians way of she's successful. So she started a podcast with her mom and her sister. She has her sister act as her assistant because her sister is a single mom. So she pays her sister's bills. Like she's constantly trying to share the love with her family and keep them close because that really is, I mean, she doesn't really need a man. She has her sister and her mom, and that's like her tight-knit little group. And she's trying to always give back to them the same way that they support her. That's why I think I fall in love with Porsha.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I mean, obviously she's tremendously family oriented. And when you have family members that also support you, you want to keep them close.
Yeah, I agree. And, also, again, before we move on, guys, hit that like button. If you haven't already, let's get more eyes in here. But I did want to point out the fact that Lauren was feeling bad about rescinding her invitation to Kenya. She was like, ugh, like I knew when I looked at the guest list, like all of the girls have reached out to Porsha. They supported Porsha. And when Kenya came up on that list, it's just like, my sister dragged her off of the reunion. She knows that they've had kind of this tumultuous background. But Porsha told her, like, hey, listen, don't feel bad. Nobody knows what place that I'm in with Kenya ever. So it doesn't matter. And then the producers asked her, do you feel bad? Because she did give you a really nice gift. And she's like, a gift is a gesture. And that's just it. Why would I feel bad for Kenya? And I was like, whoop. Okay. Yeah. I guess the doll doesn't replace all of these negative moments that they've had. And honestly, Kenya can't be surprised because just like I was saying last episode with Kenya, as soon as Kenya found out that her invitation was rescinded, she immediately jumped on the phone with Candy and she's like, this is a photo op. This is a sham. Yeah. She's very self-serving. Like it showed her true colors like right away on how she feels with Porsha. So it sounds like Lauren made the right decision anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of interesting, because initially it wasn't like Porsha was the one who disinvited Kenya. It was Porsha's sister. And then Kenya, saying all of the negative things that she said about Porsha, it was just like, honey, like why that's misdirected. Like why are you giving all that energy to Porsha? Because at the time, the audience, we hadn't heard anything as far as, anything from Porsha about how she felt really. So I felt like it was just like, wow, like now you're going to say all of this stuff and shoot that towards Porsha's way when you know that it was her sister who disinvited you, But then this episode, when you hear Porsha say, why should I feel bad and things like that, then I was like, oh, shoot, this is deep.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair. And we're going to move on to when Kenya calls her out. But before we do, I want to bring up, Theo said, not sure if anyone else noticed, but this episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta was light and funny with a sprinkle of shade. I really like that in comparison to how dark and negative the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion felt. Yeah, that did have some negativity to it, but also that there was a lot going into that, and who knows what we have coming up for the rest of the season of Atlanta. It technically just started. This was episode 5, so we could get there. Okay, so Kenya walks in and she is throwing this kind of engagement party, right? This all-white engagement party for Mike and Cynthia called the #chill party. And that's exactly what she tried to do with it. She went with this winter wonderland theme, the ice sculpture that's melting, and I guess everything in between. But she's trying her, I guess I can say she's trying her hardest to get everybody there on time. And she wants everybody to get there before Cynthia. This party, between Kenya's drunk singing and her being like, ooh, chill, like, and nobody showing up before Cynthia, really, this was kind of a disaster of a party.
You think?
Do you not? I mean, they made it what it was, and Candy really tried to pick up the slack for what was going on here. But yeah, I was like, man, Kenya, I don't know how much money you spent on this, but these women let you down.
I think I do think that Kenya could have been better at organizing and a better host. I didn't feel like it I got lost in it. I kind of got lost. I was just like, why is it like it didn't seem like she was all together in the party, like being the host. Like I was just like, it seemed a little off that way. But
well, and I think that it's also because she didn't really take control over the party. She paid for the party, or production paid for the party, and then she acted like Candy was the one hosting it, but it was just a little bit all over the place, and I think it was poorly organized.
Yes. It seemed like I mean, she didn't seem like she had it organized. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like her hosting skills weren't there. Like she, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the decorations were there and that was okay. But like, she wasn't in the hosting mode. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like she was here, everywhere. And she wasn't really doing her job as a host.
Right. Well, you know, it's funny because anybody can hire an event planner if you have the money to do it. Hosting a whole event and having it organized from start to finish, what you want to do, giving a speech, sitting down for dinner. Like it, honestly, I feel like it wouldn't be that hard, but maybe I guess for Kenya, it kind of was, especially when you're rallying this group of women. And again, mind you, I already pointed this out. Marlo, 25 minutes late. Porsha, almost 50 minutes late after speaking on the phone with Cynthia. And Cynthia is at her Lake Bailey home. And she's like, girl, Biden's going to be there. We got to get there. And they're going to close the doors and lock them. And Portia's like, oh, okay, we're going to be there, you know. And she calls and she's bald, doesn't have her wig on, nothing. And that was another moment, by the way, that I love from Porsha because she does not care. She just shows her true, authentic self. She's like, wig off.
Is she really bald?
I guess, well, I think that this was a phase, like she went bald for a second, but I don't know I don't know what's under her wig.
It was the part where she showed, you know, where she was bald headed, and then right at the end of the conversation, she said, "Okay, I'm headed there." I was like, "I'm done."
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I thought she has one of those, like, I think somebody said in one of the previous seasons, she has like the head shape and face to pull off being bald. Yeah. She could have showed up the way that she was dressed, just being bald, and she would have probably stolen the show anyways without the red wig.
That lady is beautiful. It doesn't matter. Hair, no hair, whatever. Doesn't matter. That lady is gorgeous.
All right. Well, I was surprised to see that Porsha wasn't as butthurt about not being invited to be a bridesmaid, but who was invited? Do you remember this part?
Who was you mean who became bridesmaids?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because, you know, they surprised Cynthia, but Cynthia had a surprise of her own, and
right.
Kenya, and also it was Kenya and
Candy.
I thought it was Candy. Yeah, Kenya and Candy.
Which I thought was an interesting choice because Kenya was the one who actually almost ruined her engagement. But Candy's always been there for Cynthia, so I didn't think that was too interesting. But yeah, I mean, I was reading the comments for this episode. Again, guys, we're building up in the chat, so go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. But I was reading the comments for this episode, and people were so mad that they're going through a pandemic at the time, and nobody's wearing masks at this event. And now other people are like, okay, well, they could have taken your temperature at the door. But some other people are re-commenting to that saying, like, it's a rebuttal saying, well, yeah, but what if they had COVID and they didn't know yet and it hadn't hit and they went in and they infected a whole bunch of people? It's like, you're not going to win with not wearing a mask or being totally protected during COVID. I feel like if it's going to be televised, people are going to rip your head off.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like when she came to the venue and she was like, okay, so everybody's been tested and so nobody needs to wear a mask. That was a red flag to me. I was like, hold on. They still should wear masks. But maybe at the time, because this was filmed a while ago, maybe at the time the information that they had was, up until that point.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The benefit of the doubt. Maybe at that time when they filmed, that's what they thought. That was the information that was out. And so that's why she thought that. I'm just going to go ahead and just say that and just give the benefit of the doubt there. Because to me, that was a red flag.
Yeah, well, and you did say that you had a friend who actually either worked Cynthia's wedding or attended or knew Cynthia.
I had multiple friends attend the wedding.
Okay, attend the wedding. So when I asked you last time about them attending the wedding and they all wore masks, but it was still kind of a crowded event, right? Mm-hmm. You said that, didn't you say that they had to do the 14-day quarantine in order to attend the wedding? Yes. Okay, that would make a lot more sense and be a lot more safe than obviously this. And
they had to get tested, and it was a whole lot of rules and regulations that they had to abide by before going to the wedding.
All right. So, well, going back to this interesting kind of messy all over the place, bad singing white party. This, and not to be shady at all, it was just the singing just threw me off. I thought it was funny when LaToya came in and she was so quick to show around this butt photo of Kenya's. I was reading where somebody said that they think that this photo was maybe from a year ago, or it wasn't current, because Kenya did address that she gained about 20 pounds at the beginning of the season, but who knows? Nobody needs to shade her on that. My whole thing was the fact that she is sharing this photo with everybody at the table, and everybody's like, what? Kenya? And Marlo, automatically, she takes her moment and she strikes. And she's been out of the shape. What did she say? Oh man, I wrote it out. She said that freaked me the F out. And she said, oh girl, are you going to get your butt done like she did? And it's like, oop, shots fired.
Yeah, it was kind of odd. It was just like, why would you do that? Why would you do that, Toya? Like, what's the point of doing that at the table? Everybody is on a different vibe. They're talking and
it's about Cynthia.
trying to celebrate Cynthia. And I mean, it was just it was left field and random. Just like, okay.
All right. Well, Muriel, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, hit that like button. So the party didn't totally go left, and that's good because it did have the potential to, especially with Kenya calling out Porsha and asking her, Porsha, did you get my gift? Porsha was like, yes, I did. Thank you so much. It was great. And then Kenya was like, well, it would have been even better if I could have given it to you. Kenya took that moment and was really reaching to see if she could have gotten anything out of Porsha. But if anybody knows Porsha, we know that Porsha attended her anger management classes after dragging multiple different people. And I think she's learned her lesson. And also, I just would never want to get into it with Porsha. But I want to end off this whole recap with the fact that we see, I don't want to call her spoiled Riley, but we see Riley headed off to New York City in her little party bus with the U-Haul attached to it. And this moment I thought was interesting too, because I always love to see how, I think that's why we watch the Housewives, to see how the other side lives, right? So watching the fact that Todd is getting everything tailored to him in the moment, and Riley has all of her clothes spread all over this massive jumbo couch, and she's, I mean, you see Fendi, Gucci, NYU, you see everything, and I'm just like, this is insane to me. And Candy sits there and goes through her whole wardrobe and gets it tailored before she goes out for the week. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just intrigued with it. I guess that might be the only thing I really am intrigued about with Candy is the fact that she is so successful and she's probably one of our richest housewives. Yeah. Other than that, I don't get much from her.
I mean, I feel like Candy's a boss. Even though I didn't really watch the show, I know of her businesses like Candy Coded Nights, and then she has like a sex shop or something like that, and she did a sex tour, and you know she is in this group. I mean, she has so much going on. She's a boss.
She's a successful entrepreneur.
A boss, and she's used this platform the right way. She kind of created the formula to represent your businesses and build businesses while on this platform. I think she was like one of the first to really create the formula.
You know, and it's interesting too, because her son Ace, who she is now putting into commercials and putting into, he just did his first movie. He has his own kids' toy line. She really is a boss. Like, she's setting him up to be, he's going to have so much money before he even graduates high school. And she's going to be like, yeah, I did that, you know, but good for her. Good for, yeah. That's what else would you be doing with this platform? Why go on here and fight with these women, put yourself out there in the line of fire to walk away eventually for Bravo to be like, listen, we're done with your storyline. Thank you so much. It's been a great ride. And you take what away from it? Your $300,000 paycheck that you got for a season?
Exactly. I mean, she's getting into something that is working for her instead of her working for that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Somebody, I want to put this up before we go ahead and talk about what's coming up next week. Firefly, said, I don't know if that's how you said it. I don't think that Riley acts spoiled at all. She is a sweet teenager. She grew up wealthy. It's only an issue because aren't used to seeing black children spoiled this way. No, I don't think that was the point. I think it's just interesting to see how no matter white, black, Hispanic, how anybody lives in maneuvers at that caliber of money. I mean, I think for most of us, or a lot of us, and I'm only speaking for myself, I don't know how RJ grew up, but for a lot of us who didn't grow up with an immense amount of wealth, you know, it's just intriguing. It's interesting to watch because what was that?
I was going to say, it's always intriguing to watch, like you said, like the other side live their life. And it's interesting when you see their kids and how they are, you know, kind of surrounded by their parents' wealth. And, you know, it's interesting to see how they navigate things. It is from all ethnicities. It doesn't matter what race, but just from every ethnicity, it's just interesting. It's just like, okay, they're doing this. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, like the parties that are elevated, the Sweet 16 cars that they get. I mean, it's again, it's interesting and it's intriguing. But also, Theo did make a good point and said, Firefly, ding, 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 we have a winner. This is a great point. Candy is clearly a great mother, and Riley has a great relationship with her brother. Real spoiled teens would not try to have that kind of bond. I agree with that. All right. So next time on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, we see Drew and her husband, Ralph, celebrate the life and passing of his father, which seems like it might have brought them closer in the moment, but we're going to wait and find out. Obviously, that's unfortunate. You don't want to see anybody go through anything like this, but it happens, and there's going to be a day and time for everyone, which is really depressing. But, you know, we also see Candy Cares, where she's giving back, and she gets all of the women together to give back to all of those who are going through it, which is most of us during this pandemic, and really just putting out a lending hand, using her platform in a different way, like Porsha. Porsha used her platform this year, a huge part in her activism, but Candy's giving back to COVID. So again, it's always nice to see them use their public figure to just enrich the world even more. Is that a good way to put it?
Yes.
Okay. And then we also see that Cynthia wants to invite her dad to the wedding. But there's a problem here because her mom is saying, well, if you invite your dad, I'm going to show up with a mask and a mask over my face, like covering her eyes and everything, because she doesn't want to see him. But Cynthia's daughter, Noelle, feels like, I don't want to say entitled, but she feels like she can speak out and just let Cynthia know, you know, you're making the wrong decision, or you really need to think hard about this. And I know that they have a close bond, Noelle and Cynthia, but I just noticed it's a theme with the housewives. These kids who kind of grow up with them, they really have a lot of say-so when it comes to their parents. And I mean, I don't know if I told my mom, I was like, Mom, don't invite your dad, because if grandma doesn't come, then that's you making the wrong decision. My mom would be like, boy, you better sit down and shut up. This is my wedding. Like, that's what she would say to me. But I guess, again, everybody's different. So that is what it is. Then this last thing that we have to look forward to is LaToya tells Kenya about the moment at Lake Bailey where Marlo said, hey, you need to watch your back with her, because one moment she's your best friend, the next moment she'll bite you. Now, the fact that LaToya brought this up out of the blue, I feel like is reaching for a storyline. I'm not going to lie. I feel like LaToya is trying to secure her peach for next season. A lot of people are watching the chat and they're saying LaToya is even worse than Giovanna. And I know that you didn't watch the previous season, but Giovanna Mom Placer was intense, and it was known as Snake Gate. I did an interview with her, and she's a lot, but I thought she was great. I thought she was great for the season too, until she kind of threw herself under the bridge. But we'll have to wait and see. RJ, before we go, can I at least ask you what you're looking forward to most next episode?
Yeah, I'm looking to see Drew Sidor's story. You know, I was kind of not sad, but I kind of missed her and you know, her whole family in this last episode. So I'm looking to see how that's going to be. I'm really invested in their story.
All right. And somebody even just said, CC Freak said, I'm going to need Drew to have more group scenes with the other ladies. Okay. Somebody also said, I wish Adam did Southern Charm this past episode. So guys, we do have a lot coming up today and the rest of this week. Here in about 25 minutes, we're going to jump back on with RJ.Allan and also Monica from All About the Tea to talk about a lot of scandals that are happening. The Kimye divorce, Erica Girardi's legal issues, Real Housewives of Orange County cast shakeup, and our predictions for the cast for next season of Real Housewives of Potomac. We also have our Femtero joining us today. We have an interview tomorrow with Whitney Rose from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, along with the Real Housewives of Dallas recap. Thursday, Salt Lake City with DJ Richie Sky. I mean, I need to put a schedule out. There's a lot happening. And then Friday, Southern Charm. And there's so many things in between. So we'll be jumping on, guys. And we're going to give RJ a 25-minute break, and we will see him back here. RJ, thank you so much. Before you go, can you tell us where we can find you?
Yes, guys. So you can find me on Instagram at RJ.Allan. So RJ.Allan. And you can find me on YouTube at RJ.Allan.
All right. Thank you, RJ. And I hope you have a good break, and we'll see you soon.
See you very soon.
All right. Bye, RJ. All right, guys. And Winnie, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate you. You're the best. I'm going to go ahead and go get ready for this next show. I hope you guys are there. And then maybe we can even take some callers. And then also Sandra Robinson said, Adam, Below Deck was crazy. Please watch. So Sandra, we're going to be covering Below Deck today at 1:15. It's going to be Jason and I talking about it from 1:15 to 1:45. And then from 1:45 to 2:15, we are going to have Femtero come on and do lightning card tarot readings. So again, it's going to be a busy day, but we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Hit that like button before you go. Bye, bye, bye. You guys are like